In the beginning of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the last Dragonborn survives miraculously from being executed, thanks to his greatest nemesis, Alduin the World Eater. But have you ever wondered what would happen if the Dragonborn loses his head in Helgen? Now, here we are, alone. Wherever we go, the province is completely destroyed, and all the people are gone. People we used to know. The last Dragonborn had his head chopped off in Helgen, and wasn't able to keep the world as we know it safe from Alduin. Seems like everyone's disappeared and the land is inhospitable. All that is left is the will to survive. In this video, I'm showcasing a total conversion mod called Shattered, a post-apocalyptic Skyrim, and its many great add-ons that intensify the impact of the mod even more. With this mod, the game is completely changed, with no safe places and with no one left in the world, which consequently means no quests to complete. So how are you supposed to play the game then, you might ask? What is left of Skyrim if there's no quests or factions, not to even speak of the NPCs that we all know and love? The idea behind this mod is to change Skyrim into a survival sandbox like never seen before, with gameplay that is highly customizable with the add-ons to suit your playstyle. Now I'll begin introducing the Shattered add-ons and some complementary mods to make the experience in desolate Skyrim unforgettable. Now that we have pretty much deleted everything and everyone in Skyrim with Shattered, we can finally begin to add things back in to make it more interesting and challenging. Let's naturally begin by adding more enemies and a true main objective to our game. World Eater is the main add-on we're installing on top of Shattered. This mod is based on an alternate timeline mod that was scrapped, and its main quest sheds light on the events that led Skyrim becoming Shattered. With this add-on, Skyrim is completely overrun by dragons and Draugr, resulting in sort of a zombie apocalypse. The quest begins in Angie's camp, where a friendly Khajiit will explain the prevailing situation in Skyrim to you.
When you arrived at Whiterun, after defeating the dragon at Whiterun Watchtower, booming voices exploded from Skyrim's tallest mountain.
Then you'll embark on a quest to seek answers, which will take you through the ruined settlements of Skyrim. In Whiterun, I fought a horde of Draugr and a dragon, with nothing but the stable building shielding me from the worst, managing resources as I went and juking the enemies as much as I could. This was exhilarating, just so much fun. From the Greybeards, you'll find out that you need to defeat the priests of the dragon cult, and after that, it's total war against Alduin and the dragons. For those who still think the game is too easy, we might want to add Shattered Abjects into the game. This add-on adds 13 new boss enemies into the game and an accompanied small quest to fight them. These enemies are different in playstyle and difficulty, but also naturally in their appearance and the possible loot they might drop. You can follow the quest to destroy them one by one, or just find them in the world and deal with them as you travel through the desolate Skyrim. From the Shattered optional files, we can also enable vanilla dragons and regular human enemies back into the game. It only makes sense that there are other survivors of this apocalypse too, and sadly, they're not our friends. And as this apocalypse is indeed Alduin's doing, adding the dragons back to Skyrim is an obvious thing to do. Now, there are a lot of enemies in the world on top of the undead creatures and animals, which were already there in the base mod. Skyrim is now a ruthless, dangerous place. To make the experience maybe easier, friendlier, and so tiny bit more bearable, we'll want to add friendly faces to the world, just enough to have some company and help against the many enemies. Shattered add-on Hirelings restores the hired swords of Skyrim back into the province, allowing you to hire them to help you with your mission. You can find Eric the Slayer in Rorikstead, Jenassa at Whiterun Stables, Mercurio near the Riften Stables, Forstag at Markarth, Stenvar at the Windhelm stables, and Belrand at Katla's farm. But as we know, gold has no value in this forsaken world, so instead of 500 gold, it costs 5 iron ingots to hire a mercenary to keep you company. Next is rather a tip and not a mod. If you'd like to have another follower that's not a sellsword, they do work with Shattered, but first you need to do some tinkering in the console commands to actually get them. For example, this is how we can spawn Yizargo and make him our follower to keep us company in this forsaken land. It's hauntingly empty in Skyrim, and one can just remember the sounds of the cities and the people while walking in a destroyed town. Haunted Skyrim, a Shattered add-on, is a great mod to add some spooky ambience in the towns and cities of Skyrim, as it adds ghosts that wander around as they did while they were still mortal. You can find people you used to be friends with, and even witness ghostly battles between the Civil War soldiers. I was sold on this mod when I saw Sven and Faendal still fighting in the afterlife. Now, on to the topic of items and loot. Here we have Age of Silence Forbidden Goods for Shattered Skyrim. This add-on adds a strange merchant, the strange man in the game, near the ruins of Dawnstar.
Many things, friend. Many weapons.
He's in possession of many powerful Daedric weapons and willing to trade with you in exchange for human hearts. The strange man won't tell you the names of the weapons, so you'll have to decipher his words to understand which weapons he has in his possession. Around his cave camp, you can look for clues about his backstory. To get some additional free resources from the Shattered optional files, we'll add random loot. This option adds 3 to 9 hidden loot chests in the destroyed settlements across the province that fill the gap of missing quest rewards, and they can supply you with weapons, magic and armor if you're able to find them. If you have downloaded new armor and weapon mods and want a realistic way to obtain them, the next mod is a must-have for a Shattered playthrough. Seeking out stuff generates fetch quests for any item with using add item menu, making modded armors and weapons a bit more lore-friendly and immersive to find in the game. Just speak to Enthir in the College of Winterhold and he will give you a quest to find these items for the right price. He is a ghost in this Shattered version of the mod, but you can get this mod for normal Skyrim as well, which I also highly recommend. We already looked at our main objective, which is of course finally defeating Alduin and his dragon priests, but there must be other things to do as well in addition to just surviving. This first quest mod is not specifically made with Shattered in mind, like the quests I'll introduce later, but I think it fits more than well into this alternate Skyrim. Identity Crisis is an amazing spooky quest mod that begins northeast from Windhelm at an abandoned stable building. You'll soon end up at the northern asylum of Julianos, afflicted by madness, and it's up to you to discover what happened here and where all the priests and inmates have vanished.
A tragedy? 'Twas a wild rumpus it was! A regular shindig.
This quest mode comes with new spells and weapons and a player home. And now there are also completely new Age of Silence small side quests to make the journey in this desolate land more interesting. I will say though that if you have installed World Eater as the main quest for Shattered, some of these quests might contradict that story with their own interpretations, but speaking for myself, that didn't bother me. The first quest mod, Forgotten Knowledge, is a Dark Souls-inspired quest mod revolving around a historian called Gallus. He is here to unravel the mysteries of the ruined land, and he's got his own theories on why Skyrim is now this desolate wasteland. There are 2 possible endings for this quest, and the voice acting is incredible.
On the highest mountain in all of Skyrim, when the clouds are all gone from the sky, you can just make out a building.
The next small quest mode begins in the Sightless Pit, where you can meet Rashi, a Khajiit who has gotten himself captured by the Falmer. Just the same as with Gallus the Historian, after freeing him, you can stumble upon him in different places in the province and of course with no quest markers. He wishes to go back home to elsewhere, but for a reason he's not able to, as he has some ghosts in his past.
Rashi truly misses his home. He wishes he could return. Rashi must tell you something.
Rashi can be a good friend to you, so be nice to him, or else. Now, the next additional quest mode is called Stendarr's Devout. This quest revolves around an Argonian who's a disciple of Stendarr, shares his mercy, whose pursuit is to enlighten non-believers.
A holy site for his followers, a place of reverence and rest.
He is an interesting character, and there is a lot you can learn from his past, and you can choose to cast your own judgment on him instead. Now, the next quest is called Knights of None. This mod adds 2, also fully custom voiced, distinct NPCs that you can encounter across the province, as well as a new Witcher-esque faction that shares the same name with the quest. Percy is a knight that broke his code and fled a battlefield, and now wants you to grant him an honorable death by dueling him, or you can help him restore his honor by killing the dragon he fled from. This quest is a story about the vicious circle of revenge, and there are no winners here. The latest Age of Silence quest mod, Hyperpagia, builds upon the established lore of the previous quest mods, expanding it. In the basement of the Thalmor Embassy, there's a black book that teleports you to this realm, where you can trade ruined books for insight about this seeker and the world now demolished. Skyrim is a dreadful, cold wasteland now, so the other mods outside of Shattered are important too, to make it seem even more of a desolate place. For the purpose of this playthrough, I paired Shattered with a couple of useful base mods, Experience and Campfire, which both complement this survival playstyle well. Experience overhauls the leveling system completely, allowing you to gain experience from exploring, clearing dungeons, reading and killing enemies instead of skill-based leveling of vanilla Skyrim. Campfire, on the other hand, is the legendary camping mod that allows immersive survival in the woods. There are no safe places here, just your trusty camp. To make the environment feel even more abandoned, I used Dark Forests of Skyrim, which transforms all the trees, making them appear very grim and fantastical. On top of that, flying crows is an essential, as these birds just boost the feeling of this desolate wasteland where many people have lost their lives. It's already been 12 years of Skyrim, so if you're bored of playing the game in the normal way, even with all the mods, Shattered is a great way to make the experience completely new. Especially when paired with survival mods, the game is totally different, and this new perspective was for me a welcome change of pace. I think Shattered and the complementary mods for it feels like a true adventure, and even though it's always been the case, makes Skyrim feel like a true sandbox game, where anything is possible. By customizing the add-ons and the accompanying mods, Shattered can be a really hardcore playthrough or an easier one, so really anyone could play it. A big shout out to Apeli, Octor Lucan, Carrot Guy Kai, Jacob and Ryan Ulrich for going above and beyond at supporting the channel. A hearty thank you to my other supporters in Patreon as well. I am so grateful for all of you. If you'd like to join the production crew and gain access to a private Discord and extra content, check out patreon.com/bardscollegegraduate. Thank you for watching the video. I was really stoked back when I first saw Shattered being released, as it really just changes the whole game to be something different altogether. This was so much fun to try out, as well as all the add-ons and accompanying mods. Maybe you have already tried Shattered out or heard about it, but if you just now learned about it for the first time, let me know how you feel about such a total conversion mod. If you enjoyed watching this video, consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really helps a small YouTuber. Thanks again for watching, take care and see ya!